This is for an owner who's having engine shutoff issues that definitely appear to be ignition related, based on timing light behavior. Um, but if he wants to rule out fuel delivery, the easiest way to do that is when the engine shuts off, just look inside the bowl. If there's fuel in the bowl, there's 99.9% probability that fuel delivery is not the reason that your engine shut off. And the way you do that, take the air filter off. This bolt here, it's a dual purpose bolt. It not only holds the air filter on, it also holds the top of the carburetor tight against the vacuum passage that operates the choke pull-off. See, it's a dual diameter bolt, dual purpose bolt. And that's standard to the 2100, not the 2150, but if you have a 2100 like this with the choke pull-off integrated into the top casting, you're going to have one of those dual purpose bolts. This little screw here that holds the choke connecting, or the tab that connects the choke connecting rod to the choke plate, try not to drop and lose this little screw. It's a 6x32 screw, which is, common enough, but the shortest that you're likely to find this is the little tab that connects the choke plate to the choke connecting rod, so you take it off. But the shortest little screw that you're likely to find at a hardware store is 1/2 inch. This one here is 1/4 inch. So if you drop it and lose it and have to replace it with one from the hardware store, you're going to have to put some washers to take up that extra length. And you've got 4 machine screws, Phillips head machine screws. Hold the top on. They should not be otherworldly tight. They do not need to be otherworldly tight. I have no idea why people love to crank the ever-living daylights out of these screws. All they're doing is keeping fuel from sloshing out of the bowl and keeping trash from getting in. Take out the 4 machine screws, lift up the top. There's the gasket. And look in the bowl. My bowl is about half full. I don't know if you can see that, it's about here. So I think it's safe to say that my fuel delivery system into the bowl of the carburetor is clear and working properly. So if I was having any engine shutoff issues, I would say, okay, I got fuel in the bowl. Whatever's causing my engine to shut off is most likely ignition. Especially if that's what the timing light is indicating. When you put this gasket back in, you can't put it on backwards. If you try to put it on upside down, these 2 bolt holes here will not line up. But the reason you got to put it in right side up is that there is the vacuum passage that operates the choke pull-off. So when you put the gasket on, you can see that hole, and there's the vacuum passage, they line up. So obviously my gasket is correct. And if I put it on upside down, those 2 bolt holes wouldn't line up anyway. Put the top on. Put your machine screws in. Like I said, I don't know why, but for some reason people will crank the ever-living daylights out of these machine screws. All they're doing is keeping the fuel from sloshing out in trash from the outside world, pollen, dust, stuff like that from getting in. But these two chimneys right here go straight down into the bowl. And they're what? At least 3/8 of an inch, maybe even 7/16 of an inch. Gigantic chimneys. So really all you're doing here is keeping stuff from sloshing in and getting in. The tab that connects the choke connecting rod to the choke plate, on other people's cars, I punch two little holes so you don't put the tab on backwards. Because if you put the tab on backwards, you'll jam the choke plate shut and won't be able to open. So when you're putting this tab on, this one doesn't have it because I know which way it goes on. But on other people's cars, I'll punch two little holes. So make sure you can see those two little holes facing out. Put the little tab on. Connect it to your choke plate. Hopefully you didn't drop and lose your little 1/4 inch long screw. I know that my tab is oriented correctly because I can open the choke plate and then close it. This bolt here, like I said, not only does it hold the air filter, but it's going to hold the top of the carburetor tight against the vacuum passage that operates that choke pull off. Put my air filter on. Assuming I don't want to watch the carburetor do its thing, I want to watch the carburetor do its thing, I'll fire up the engine and then put the air filter on. And there we are, right back where we started. So I am 99.9% confident that fuel delivery is not an issue on my DeLorean.